friends. Welcome to Pod Maverick After Dark. I'm Kirk Henderson, joined, as always, by Josh Bowe. It is Wednesday night, January 14th. It's about 11:15-ish. Dallas Mavericks played the Denver Nuggets on ESPN, and they lost, and we're here to talk about it. What's going on, Josh?
Oh, another game, another 3,000 injuries, another loss. It's kind of bleeding together now. If you didn't think it was bad, now it's gonna get bad.
It's about to get a little bit bleak. Cooper Flagg went down with a ankle sprain. I have a sneaky feeling he plays tomorrow night. It was this ankle that he also sprained on Monday night, and I say sprain because that is like literally what he did. That he could keep playing is more indicative of the fact that he's 19 and made out of rubber. And probably just because he's one of those guys like Dirk later in his career. It's like some people just roll their ankles. And Flagg kept playing, and then after halftime, I bet they just took a look at him and it probably swole up a little bit. And they decided to bench him, which, it's fine. Then we went out. Then as they're discussing him getting no longer playing, Daniel Gafford goes down on the same ankle that he injured stepping on Anthony Davis's foot 10 minutes into preseason practice. And I could not believe when he went back out like that. That's more him than the medical staff. I want to blame the medical staff because I'm an asshole and I just want to blame everyone these days. But that was wild to me.
I mean, eventually someone's got to say no, right?
Well, I think somebody did because his ass came out of the game, and he ended up I think he didn't play at all in the fourth quarter. This was a game where if you did suffer through it, to me, what became pretty crystal clear, and we already know this, but this is where it's like there's just a talent differentiator between these two teams. The Mavericks have some good players that should get shipped out to better teams, but they don't really fit together. The Nuggets are a well-constructed team, and the fact that Peyton Watson is playing like this with Jokic down just goes to show you that team has talent. It's that they have been probably being poorly served by their previous coach, Michael Malone, and his stubbornness. And Dallas just don't have that. And you've been talking about this, and I want to give you a little bit of runway to talk about whatever you feel like, but the discussions around the Mavericks right now are just slowly killing me because none of these players are going to be just say your line about what you think with Cooper Flagg.
So Cooper Flagg is 19 years old. His next contract will begin the 2029-2030 season. And if you look at the Mavericks roster, unfortunately, Basketball Reference doesn't have Kyrie Irving on here, so it makes it kind of harder to look at it by age. If you look at the roster, by the time Cooper starts his second contract, you could make a case that none of the players currently on the roster will be on the roster. Klay Thompson's obviously 35, Anthony Davis is 32, Kyrie Irving is 33, I think.
He'll be 33 soon, or 30. He's older though. That's your point.
Right. He's older. So 3 more years, maybe he'll be on the team. But again, you're talking about diminishing returns. Najee Marshall's 28 and is due for a contract soon. PJ Washington's 27. Daniel Gafford's 27. And then the rest, probably Max Christie is the only one you could say definitively. Maybe Derek Lively as well. But with his injuries, I don't know what his contract status is going to be going forward when his second contract's coming up, when he's had all these injuries. I think, the point is people get really sentimental about these guys, and I get it.
It's good.
It's good to like players, but when we're talking about what's in the best interests of the team moving forward, it's almost objectively clear they need to start shipping off veterans, recouping either financial flexibility or draft capital. They don't need to go process 76ers and just not employ any veterans, but they have to do some. They can't trade PJ Washington this season, but maybe you don't anyway. but they could probably trade Clay or they could trade Najee. And yeah, Najee's awesome. And I love Najee. And if people have been listening to this podcast since before the finals team of 2024, I was kind of banging my drum for them acquiring a player like him. I was doing that for PJ Washington too. Like, these are guys that I was telling the Mavericks, through this podcast,
please.
Yeah, get these guys. They will help. They're good players. But right now, I mean, they're not going to, I don't even know if they're going to make the play-in right now. Anthony Davis is hurt. Like, there just has to be some responsibility for what's best moving forward. And we've got about 3 weeks or so till they have to make a move. So there's no sense in like freaking out. But we'll just see what happens, because I think it's clear what they need to do moving forward. We'll see if I don't even want to say have the guts, but we'll just see if they have the foresight to do it. I imagine there's got to be people in that front office that know that this is what has to be done. They've hired some really smart cap people over the last like 3 or 4 years. There's no way, if you're a smart cap guy looking at the Mavericks books, that you can be like, yeah, this is fine. This is fine to be, a losing non-playoff team 2 years in a row with like the 5th highest payroll in the NBA. Like, this is like, no, there's no way they're cap people inside that front office or feel that way. So we'll see what happens. But this game was kind of a bummer, just with the injuries and another loss. And like, yeah, they play hard, and playing hard only gets you so far. They play hard every night, and they've lost 26 games, and it's not February 1st. So I don't know what else to say.
Well, so this game kind of went that way, where in the first quarter, the Mavs got up early, and then the Nuggets just sort of smacked them on the nose. And in the second quarter, that absolutely happened, where Tim Hardaway became fire and brimstone Tim and hit some threes. The Nuggets went up by as many as 18 points in that second quarter. Mavericks entered halftime. I think they're down 17. The game was essentially over midway through the third quarter, and the Nuggets seemed to actually take that as their cue to check out as well. And that prompted the Mavericks to start. I think the Nuggets were up by 23 at one point, and that sort of jump started the Mavericks to they went on a 17-4 run to close out the third quarter. They entered the fourth quarter down 10, and they quickly cut that to 5.
Yep.
Which was, it wasn't a clutch time game. They were 1 point away from a clutch time game. But then the Nuggets basically decided, oh, yeah, we got to play basketball. And within 2 minutes, the 5-point lead was back up to 16. And the game, the Mavericks cut it all the way down to 6 with 1:12 remaining. But the Nuggets weren't really trying. And it's just like the talent disparities between the two teams, the shot making. I mean, we was kind of keep repeating ourselves to a certain degree with like the shooting, but like the Mavericks shooting tonight, I mean, the Nuggets were plus 33 from 3-point range. Dallas
that was the game. That was a game.
Yeah. Yeah. In a 9-point game, the Mavericks were outshot from 3-point range by 33 points. Like that's why they lose. And this was one of them that looked more like what we had assumed in the preseason, like how Dallas would get bushwhacked, only they keep fighting and they win a lot of the math battle, but not enough to actually win the game.
Yeah. I mean, they scored 66 points in the paint. They shot 19 of 22 in the restricted area. Like, they can drive, like, but 3 is worth more than 2. Like, it's great. It's great to make layups, and it's great to be a good driving team, they're top 10 in points in the paint. They're top 10 in drives. They're top 10 in field goal percentage on drives. Considering that they can't make threes, it is astounding to me how good they are at scoring in the paint. Mm-hmm. Like, that needs to be studied for science, like how good they are at that, because I don't understand how teams are just not playing like a box and one, like against like Najee. Like, whenever Najee shoots an open floater, I'm like, did the other team read? Do they ever read a scouting report? Have they watched?
I mean, that was Richard Jefferson's whole, like, I normally don't really listen to commentators, and Richard Jefferson kind of annoys me, but that was his whole deal, where it's like, are the Nuggets not paying attention to the Mavericks scouting report? They play hard. And that was kind of, you could tell David Adelman was getting pretty pissed off during some of these runs where it's like, they are who we thought they were sort of approach. Yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of one of those games we were watching. And then, the fake run did help make it feel like something, because otherwise I think we were just going to come in here and solely complain about the injuries.
An inspiring effort in front of team owner Patrick Dumont. Surely.
He doesn't live here, does he? Dumont doesn't live here.
No.
Yeah.
Surely watching these guys work so hard, he could only be thinking, man, what if this squad had a healthy Anthony Davis, a healthy Kyrie Irving? Maybe we give it one more go. I'm sure that's what he was thinking, sitting courtside.
Just driving me crazy. Okay, we're going to take a short break, and then we'll come back and talk about a few more things. Lord knows what those things will be. And then we'll wrap it up. So if you want to support the show, remember there's 3 ways. You can support us directly. There's links in the show notes. Really easy to do so, and we appreciate those few people who do decide to do those. Shout out to our guy Lance, who sent in some money a few days ago. Then, there's obviously listening to the ads. That helps us a great deal. And then there's tell your friends about the show. A lot of competition in the Mavs sphere, which is good. Everybody should find what they like. But we're here, and we're going to keep being here until one of us decides to quit, which could be any day now. You never know. Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, thanks so much for waiting. So one of the things I wrote about, and I've written about this before in the post-game, recap, is just how important to me moving forward with the Mavericks that positional size is going to be. If we assume Kyrie Irving is going to be on the team for a few more years, and I kind of think that's a good bet, they need to find other guards who are significantly bigger. Jamal Murray is not a great big guy, but he made the Mavericks guards look tiny. And I'm saying I'm sick of watching the Mavericks guards isn't fair. This is who brought us. This is who we have. I don't want to insult them too much. But Ryan Nembhard and Brandon Williams are scoutable players. That's why I didn't get too high on Nembhard earlier this year. He's a 5'9" guy. I don't care what he's actually listed as. Teams don't care about him. They are fine letting him run the offense and whirling dervish and occasionally hit a jumper, because ultimately they win that math battle over the course of the game. Brandon Williams is a empty stats all-star. I really enjoy watching him play. He does not meaningfully impact the game because his one thing is Brandon Williams go fast, and that's it. He can't hit threes, and he's not a great passer. He's fine. These guys are fine. But then you watch like the upper echelon of the NBA teams, and you see the kind of guards that they have, and I just can't help but get very thirsty for a big guard, of some fashion. Am I being too critical in this regard?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I have a soft spot for Brandon Williams, but I mean, he's played pretty well for 2 seasons on a team that's not winning any games. So like you have to try to couch like this looks great, but if they keep losing and it's not all on him, it's a lot bigger than that, but like it all kind of fits together. And ideally like Williams would be like I think Williams can carve out a role as like your third guard off the bench, or maybe your third point guard. He probably doesn't need to be your starter. He probably doesn't even need to be your backup, but like change of pace. We're down 10, start second quarter. Guys aren't bringing it. All right, put your ass in, go light speed, go turbo speed, try to get us some energy, pick us back up into this game. Nembhard is a little tougher because again, like that size, like I don't know how you get around.
He just gets ruthlessly picked on. He died tonight on multiple high screens where he was waiting for a big to step up, and it's like Gafford's. It's like Gafford's not doing that. What are you thinking? Like fight over the top of the screen for the love of God.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't see how you get around that. Like Williams at least is a little bit bigger, a little bit faster. He's like a notch above Nembhard athletically and physically, that it's enough to maybe trump Nembhard's, clearly superior floor game and passing and distribution and even shooting. He's a much better shooter than Brandon Williams. But it's just not, you can't, I mean, that's why I think he's moved back to the bench. You just can't be that tall and start NBA games and be like a consistent winning team that's in 2026. I think that's really hard.
Yep.
So yeah, they gotta find something, because they tried with D'Angelo Russell, he didn't work. They have to look into this offseason. And if they don't have a draft pick, because there's a lot of big guards in this draft that fit exactly what you're talking about. I'm not as smart about the draft. You know a little bit more about it. I talk to more people that know about it than
our
me.
Guys. We have like 4 dudes in Mavs Moneyball who really like the draft. If you're interested for something, we've got our guy Tyler who posts. So he does a weekly like, here's who I'm watching post, because he watches a lot of college basketball. And this is a talented draft. It's too early for me to start casting like, oh, this is who I want, even though like I did that with Luka in 2018 because it was easy. But this is a different deal. I'm also very much invested in Flagg, and so I'm not like I'd rather still watch Flagg every night. But we're gonna have a pretty hard pivot into learning about these guys, just because I think you have to.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty clear.
Well, what else did anything else sort of stand out to you in this game that's worth talking about for a few minutes?
Man, I don't know. I mean, we already talked about Najee. We have to acknowledge that Caleb Martin scored 25% of his season total points in a single game. That was wild. 3 steals, 3 assists, 15 points, 7 of 9 from the floor. He made a 3. And then he made a foot on the line 3, so he made at least 2 jumpers.
7 of 9 from the floor. It's a riot.
From a guy that seemed allergic to shooting, scoring.
Yeah.
I mean, he made 7 shots tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He made 7 shots in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. His last 9 games before this one, he made 7 shots combined.
Well, it's
just
he's such an interesting consideration.
He was good.
He was functional enough to get the contract that he's on.
Yeah.
He came to the Mavericks with the hip injury. Hip stuff is no joke. Confidence is also no joke in the NBA. I think it's pretty easy to lose, but his shot is just so heinous. It's, maybe he does need to see one go down. I mean, he plays hard. You can appreciate that. I have a sneaky feeling as the year goes on, we're going to start to see more of him, just because his effort level paired with the they're going to start. Stein all but said without saying today, the Mavericks are like institutionally tanking. I don't know how, but like that's one way, is playing more Caleb Martin.
I mean, he entered this season 35% career from 3 on decent volume, and that's with his time with the Mavericks,
where he can hit the broadside of a barn.
Yeah. I mean, like his rookie year, I mean, he didn't really play his rookie year. Like his first real season was with Miami. He was 41% on 2.5 attempts, 35%, 35%. Then his brief time with Philly, he was 38%. Like his shot looks kind of heinous, but he was making it. I don't know what happened since he's been here. Again, maybe it was just one too many injuries that have kind of derailed things for him, and he never was able to get back on track. So yeah, I don't know, but if this is the start of something, we'll see. I mean, maybe it was just a blip on the radar, but we had to acknowledge it, because that was just hilarious. Because like if he was probably the reason why the game was as close as it was. Like if you pencil in what he normally does, which is like 2 points, they lose by 21 or whatever, which is kind of crazy to think about. But otherwise, like, they were 5 of 34 from 3. They couldn't hit an open shot. When Cooper went out of the game, and didn't come back in the second half, you could tell that really deflated them a bit. Like, although they did finish the third quarter strong. It's the same stuff we're talking about every game. They can't shoot. They don't have size from their guards. They can drive the ball and score in the paint really well, but turnovers, which was actually okay tonight. I think they only had like 8 or 9 total turnovers, but yeah, it's just not enough. I mean, Gafford got hurt. Washington gets hurt. Cooper gets hurt. Like they're just starting to run out of bodies, and like they need to get to the trade deadline.
Did PJ get hurt? Was I not paying
Sorry,
attention?
no, I misspoke. I meant to say Gafford.
Okay.
Gafford. So if Gafford's hurt, Cooper's hurt. If either of those guys miss a game, I know you think Cooper's not going to miss a game, but if Gafford misses a game,
they have nothing. I mean, they got to play. Cisse is a guy who can give you 20 minutes, but he'll foul out.
Right, but they're running out of. They can't.
They got to be
Cisse and
careful
them
with
are
him.
two-way guys. Like they've got limited time. Like they got to get to the trade deadline to reset what this organization is going to be going forward, and just, clear space so you can get Nembhard to a full-time contract. Honestly, clear space and give Cisse a full-time contract for the rest of the season so he can play 15 minutes a night. If Lively's going to be out, if they trade Davis, or if Davis is hurt, if Gafford's hurt, like it's starting to feel like last season where they're just running out of guys, and they're running out of guys and they don't have ways to replace them because of their cap situation, which is again another thing we talk about. Like that's why they need to start gaining some financial flexibility. Because again, like the last thing I want to really hit on tonight is I still get people that talk to me and are like, why do you want to save the owners money? It's just money.
Right.
And I'm like, that was true 5 years ago. This is a new NBA. You can't make trades when you're this into the tax. You can't make signings. Like, this isn't about saving Patrick Dumont money. It's about being able to do stuff, like to build the roster. Because if you don't start shedding salary, this is the team for the next year and the year after that. Like it's either, do you like this team and want to keep it together? Okay, cool. Not going to try to dissuade you, keep on believing, I guess. But like, if you're someone that wants them to make moves, but then you don't also, you want them to make the team better, but you also don't want them trading these guys for cap flexibility. Like, it's one or the other. Like, if you're someone that's like, no, don't trade Najee, don't trade AD, like, don't give them away for nothing. And then it's the summer and you're like, why aren't they doing anything? It's like, well, that's why. Like, they can't make trades. The way they can aggregate salaries is harder when they're this deep with their payroll. Like, so I want to keep emphasizing that, like, making these trades and gaining that financial flexibility has nothing to do with saving Patrick Dumont's luxury tax bill. It's all about, you have to have that flexibility to keep building the roster around Cooper Flagg going forward.
Well, and the PJ Washington situation is probably the weirder one, because I think that this is the other thing. I don't understand why these guys are like not asking out. Maybe they are, and we just don't know, and we just haven't heard anything. But like, the Mavericks are probably going to do what Klay Thompson wants, for example, because you treat a Hall of Fame veteran the right way. I think that's a good thing to do as an organization. But why aren't they, like, if I'm these guys, it's like, hey, you know what, I'd be okay with going so-and-so, going somewhere anyway. It's the money part of it is just annoying that we even have to consider that. It's so shocking. Like, the Mavericks became so expensive intentionally and then tanked themselves by trading away Luka. And so it's like, getting out from being expensive essentially means waiting out guys' contracts in a lot of circumstances, or trading away the contracts that you have for expiring deals. And we are, like, you and I and a fair number of Mavs fans are very concerned, because I think the thought exists that the Mavericks would like need to attach whatever limited draft assets they have to get out from underneath these salaries. And like that, they don't even have the means to do that. No. So it's a really dicey situation, because the salary just boxes you in. It really does. And, the Mavericks could start next year, if they don't make any changes, if they don't trade anyone, they're starting the year in the second apron. Like, they can't do anything. It's like, it's hilariously bleak. And it was intentional, because they knew this was coming, and they knew they were going to have to do something about it. That's why Nico Harrison only gave himself a 3-year runway. Like, they're not that kind of stupid. It's just they're stupid about the way basketball actually works. Trying to think if I had anything else. PJ Washington looked rough. He was on my mind. That's why I brought him up. PJ's not really had a standout game since in the new year. He's only played 3 times.
He's been hurt. He's been in and out of the lineup. You can't develop a rhythm.
Yep. The last time he scored over 20 points was basically a month ago, December 15th. He has missed a number of games here and there because of that ankle. Just sort of something to kind of monitor. I mean, PJ to me is a bit of a bellwether for the floor of the team play. I thought, he was running like small ball 5 at times tonight and looked to be having some fun. I think the Mavericks need to experiment with some of that stuff and ways to get him going, just because I don't think he's getting a lot of opportunity in these few games that he has been playing. I mean, he was 4-13 tonight, so he clearly took enough shots, but I don't know. PJ's just a guy who I think impacts winning in ways that we don't really value sometimes, because it's like, he'll have like a really weird looking everything checked box score, but it's not, you don't come away with it thinking it's the PJ game. So yeah. I don't know, just something that's going to be on my mind as the games go. And he's obviously not getting traded because he can't be. So,
yep. Yeah. They need to get him on track. He needs to play. Like, I don't think that he needs to play like 5 straight games.
That's right. Yep. So, okay, we're going to wrap up. Josh has some editing to do for us at Mavs Moneyball. Yep. I will host a group therapy if anybody wants to talk. We had one guy last time, and if that's the case, I might just kind of cut loose. I understand, like, nobody's hurting my feelings by not wanting to join these things. Like, we're kind of in the depths of the doldrums, and that just might continue until All-Star break. I think we will have things to talk about. I think the Mavericks will make some moves. I just can't believe that they would be that kind of obtuse, but we're going to bitch about it until they do. That's really the way it goes. Okay. Josh, you have a good night. Everybody be good. This has been Kirk and Josh with Pod Maverick. We will talk to you guys tomorrow night when the Mavericks play the Jazz. Go Mavs. Hello, Mavs fans. Welcome to Pod Mavericks Group Therapy. I'm Kirk Henderson. This is the show where you can talk about the Mavericks in any way, shape, or form with me, because it's better to do that than it is to yell at strangers on Reddit, Facebook, or Twitter. So before we got, it's really easy to join the show. There's a link in the notes, or the link in the comments, which I think I've pinned, and you can just click on that. It's pretty simple. We did have one question in the last show that I wanted to wait on to answer because I felt more appropriate for this show. I will try to tag questions if you have them in the comments, because if you don't want to talk up here, I'm also happy to answer questions. Mavs fan 41 asked, why have the Mavericks not hired a new GM yet? Is this normal for a team to go almost a whole season without a real GM in place? No, it is not. The Mavericks can't really do anything because anybody that they're interested in hiring are currently under contracts, and teams don't really, like, GMs and assistant GMs don't leave during the season. It's why it was a disaster that he didn't fire Harrison last year. Oddly enough, the Mavericks local media outside of like the podcasting community, which is like me and Nick and slightly, the real media people don't advocate for this stuff because they don't feel it's their place. When I say real, I mean like legacy. They don't feel it's their place to do this, but it's fucking obvious to people with the brain that it should have happened. McMahon all but said it repeatedly, but he didn't want to come out and these guys, they don't view their position as an advocacy one. When I kind of think like the Tim Calishaws, the Dallas Morning News, the old heads that have just seen enough shit to where they don't care anymore. More people should have been calling for his head. It shouldn't have just been fans. Like it was pretty obvious. Okay, so we're going to go. We got Patrick, Will, and Matei waiting. We'll go in order there. Patrick, what's up, brother?
Good evening. So I forgot to write my notes down, so it's on my notes app. So that means when I switch to the notes app, I'm muted. So I'm going to have little gaps in between.
That's hilarious, you nerd.
So yeah. So first thing, you ever just like kind of say something to yourself and it's like your subconscious speaking. You didn't even think to say it. I just remember at the end of this half, or maybe it was early in the third, I just went, we're getting our asses kicked. We suck. Good. So that's where my head is at, is I just want that pick. And I think at this point, we're like, even if we had Luka, I think we have injury prone players, like not just AD like this. And maybe it's a Casey Smith thing, but like to have 2 seasons in a row, kind of like last year, and it looks like we're going into it again. I think we just kind of y'all talked about it. Like we're sentimental about the guys that we still have left over. And you had said like the team doesn't make sense, and it doesn't make sense anymore. It made sense when we had Luka. They don't make sense anymore. We need to just like cut the sentimental stuff. It's kind of like you get divorced, but you still live in the house that you lived in for your 20-year marriage. We just need to get rid of the guys and get what we can and move on. All right, I'm moving on to feel free to speak. I got to move on to my notes app real quick.
No, it's fine.
I can still hear you though.
You look at your notes app, I'll just respond. I get why the Mavericks aren't being totally cold-blooded about it. I find myself mostly frustrated by the messaging, which is different depending on the reporter. Stein says one thing, McMahon says something slightly different. And it just, that element of it makes me a little because I just want to hear. I'm like everybody else. I want to hear what makes me happy, but I would also just like some sort of clarity that they're honestly assessing their situation. And I know that's not how you make the best deal, but damn it, I just can't believe that they feel like they're fooling anyone with some of this stuff. So.
Yeah, and like we'll find another PJ, we'll find another Najee, we'll find another Gafford, but that guy right now is 21, 22 years old. That guy might be in college. That guy might be, might have a breakout season in year 4 that is sitting on the bench as like the 11th man on a team right now. Kind of like, I mean, for me, honestly, like Gafford kind of came out of nowhere. I like vaguely knew about him, but I think he's had his best years as a Maverick. And then PG was easy to kind of miss because he played for Charlotte.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know if I said it, but I legitimately think we are top 5 bad. I think we're entering like Brooklyn Nets territory, especially if these injuries keep happening. So I think that's the direction. I don't want to get into talking about AD stuff today. I don't know what to believe anymore. I honestly just think everyone's just, whether it's him, his agent, our team, like literally everybody is just angling to get him out of here. So that's where I'm at with him.
Sure. He's looking at his notes out.
Okay. Yep. So I got 2 more things and then a throwback, as I always try to have when I have a call.
Love it.
So I don't understand Kyrie's place on this team, if we're doing what we've been talking about, other than the fact that like if he wants to be here, he can be here. But I don't know why he would want to be here and have his career wind down here. I'm curious what we could get if we traded him, but I feel like it would be a where do you want to go and we just get whatever kind of thing. I
have an answer for you if you're curious.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I do not know this, but I believe this. I think between winning the championship in 2016 with Cleveland, then bouncing around the way he did, he was under an intense, like not a bit, he was under a ton of scrutiny. Some of it warranted because he was talking a lot and saying things that were just almost designed to provoke reaction. Other times he was just in situations that would in hindsight are it's frustrating for him, and I'm sure he feels the same way. So with the Mavericks, he gets to play basketball and people don't really bother him. The Mavericks are the 3rd most important team in this region at best. I mean, it's Cowboys, huge gap, Rangers, Maverick Stars. With the Mavericks and Stars having dedicated fan bases for sure, but baseball is still a very big Texas thing. So I just think he can do whatever he wants. And, I think he has some family. Like, I think he has like one of his children, I think lives in Texas. He brings his family to games. I never saw his family with the Nets. So there's just a lot of like things that he seems to enjoy about being a Maverick. And I think that he's such a well-renowned player within other player circles. It behooves the Mavericks to take him into consideration so that he would speak well of the organization. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. I think that'll help kind of heal our brand as an organization after whatever the fuck just happened. And
and not to mention, this is a comment in the chat. He says, why do people not see Kai and Coop as a good fit? I don't think it's that. Kai and Cooper can play basketball.
It's a timeline thing.
It's a timeline thing more than anything else. But like, I'd be perfectly fine watching 36-year-old Kyrie making whatever money they feel happy giving him. Like, really? Like, that part where it's not my money. And I think that he's a good, he's a good, like, he makes a great Maverick for what they need right now.
Yeah, he can be you know, the Michael Finley to Dirk's Cooper or whatever.
Yeah, I like that one actually. That's good.
Okay, second thing about today, and then I'll do my throwback.
Sure,
I'm thinking a couple years down the line, and I didn't do all the math or whatever, but I feel like we might be able to, once we get our books in order and kind of figure out an actual direction and get off all this stuff, damn draft picks and young players that are going to be due money, I feel like we can poach someone that they're not going to be able to afford. Like a Cason Wallace or Mitchell.
Oh yeah, they're going to run into like that. That's kind of what everybody's thinking at a certain point.
Yeah, and I don't know if that comes in the form of restricted free agency or just they try to get ahead of it and get, you know, a role play like the Kevin Martin thing with the James Harden trade. Like, let's get a Kevin Martin and a Jeremy Lamb for a Cason Wallace just because we can't afford to re-sign them. So I think we should kind of keep our wits about us for that kind of thing. I don't know if there's any other teams in that situation with such a glut of youth, but I'm hoping that's the case in the next 2-3 years.
Sure.
Okay, and now for the throwback. This is not a deep cut at all. It's just of the times. It's crazy to me that Tim Hardaway Jr. is still like doing the thing. And I just want to share that I went to school in New Orleans, 2011 to 2015, and the All-Star game was there, which meant All-Star activities were there. And I actually worked the All-Star game like outside of the stadium, just doing stuff. And I got free tickets to the rookie sophomore game.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was the game. I don't know if you remember where Tim Hardaway Jr. and Dion Waiters went supernova from 3 for like 5 minutes. And everybody was losing their fucking minds. Nobody knew who any of these people were. Like Waiter, because it was like the Anthony Davis rookie season, I think. And like Kyrie and was a sophomore that year, I think. And or maybe vice versa, I don't remember, but I'll never forget that. And I technically saw Giannis play. He scored like 2 points. Yeah, so that's all I got. Have a good night.
Thanks, man. Talk soon. All right, that was fun. We got a lot of people in here tonight, so this is interesting. You guys are real gluttons for punishment. Will, what's up, dude?
What's up, Kirk? Can you hear me?
I can. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, what's going on? Well, I wasn't even going to talk about Kyrie Irving, but yeah, I thought you made a good point when you said he makes like a really good Maverick right now. And yeah, it's like, I think you're super spot on with that. You know, he's a guy who like, he's going to be a really good locker room guy for Cooper and whoever else we bring in the draft this year. He's also just like, you know, he's a fan favorite and he's somebody who's fun to watch play.
Yes.
Like the reason why you turn the games on is like to watch a player like him play basketball. But like whether or not the timelines match, and you know, I think we all kind of are on the same page that they don't.
All right.
Still, you know, it makes sense like to keep him on the team, and he's a nice guy to have around. I would be pretty sad, like, even though I understand it.
Kyrie super fans kind of drive me crazy, but I will learn to live with that if he hangs around. I think you'll eventually need to start treating him kind of like a relief pitcher. You know, he's not a guy who can give you at a certain point. He's not a guy who can play 35 minutes a game. That might not be next year when he comes back. I'm sure he'll actually play quite well for the next couple of years because his game is built on quickness, and I just don't see him necessarily like losing that. Like, he's such a skilled player. It's not like an overwhelming athlete who's going to lose a step. He is just he's like a cat that, you know, and cats have about like 9 lives. He's going to age well. His game will age well. I think he'll be fairly injury prone due to that size and just due to his career. Like, he has all kinds of weird injury history. But I'm happy to see him be a Maverick for as long as he wants to be a Maverick.
Yeah, for sure. And then I was also curious, like whenever there's like a nationally televised game, do you like watching the Mavs broadcast or like the ESPN one or whoever else game?
Look, I have a real hard time with the Mavs broadcast, in no small part because I bickered with all of them, like at one point or another. but also because their jobs are to sell the Mavericks. And I prefer a more even look at the game. Now, do you get that with an ESPN broadcast? Nope. Tonight I went with ESPN, but I was also writing about the game, so I kind of had the volume turned down.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard. I was for parts of it, I was watching ESPN, and toward the end, I switched over to the Mavs. But there was one. It was like in the second quarter, and Richard Jefferson was just gushing about how talented the Mavericks roster is, talking about Kyrie and Anthony Davis and Derek Lively, and just if we can get healthy. And I'm like, man, this is just like, what's this guy even talking about?
He can't help it. They're his contemporaries. Like, he played with those guys, so it's like that they always see their peer. You know, it's their. He also said something later about how they do have to pivot to building around Flagg. Like, he was pretty pro Flagg. Like, these guys who really know basketball, and I think that's not all former NBA players, but the ones who get paid to talk about it really gush about Flagg in ways that I'm not used to hearing.
Yeah, that's true. It is really good to hear all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess one other thing is
Sure.
like, I just like the evolution of Aaron Gordon as a player is like unbelievable. It's like prime Kobe Bryant the last like 2 years, especially when he plays.
His 3-point shot is outrageous. It's like he's developed into a sharpshooter on top of being like an S-tier athlete. And it's so cool and also upsetting that he found this home to where he doesn't have to be the primetime guy all the time and can be Scottie Pippen on steroids. And it works for them. The Nuggets are so good. I hate it so much.
Yeah, I really like him. He's an awesome NBA player.
Yes.
He's fun to watch for sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining. You got anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Talk soon. Okay, before I bring up Matei, I'm going to kick to a quick audio break at least here. So if you're listening on the podcast on Thursday afternoon or something before the Jazz game, so we're just going to insert those ads. Listen to them. Helps Josh and I. We'll be right back. All right, thanks for waiting. Coming up next is Matei. What's up?
Hey, Kirk. How are you?
Good. Long time no talk. You sound great.
Yeah. Woke up early, wanted to watch some Mavs-Nuggets, but the game sucked. Cooper got injured, so that sucked. But I was up and I saw you're doing your stream, and I wanted to join because we didn't talk for a while, and it's coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the trade.
I know.
Still can't believe that actually happened. You know what actually made me laugh too? Because you said Kyrie stans driving you crazy, and I'll just say be grateful you don't have to deal with LeBron stans, because like Luka and Kyrie stans combined aren't half as annoying or loud as LeBron stans are. Like that's next level.
23 years of fan accruing, and it's so, the one thing I appreciate about LeBron, and he annoys me a great deal, is his absolute willingness to piss everyone off. Giannis Antetokounmpo doesn't like this heat he's getting in Milwaukee. He doesn't like being the bad guy. LeBron is good enough and has a long enough view of history to know that because he's talented and because he's been one of the best players in NBA history, people will look past the shitty stuff he does and says, or his agent says, and he gets away with murder because he simply doesn't worry about fan response anymore because he knows his place is sealed. And more players, I think, should do what he does. Like I sort of wonder if your guy Luka will get to that point in his career where he turns his, because off the court he's not very media vocal, and we know he has a cutting tongue. Like anybody that's willing to get into to make fun of Dennis Schroeder to his face about his contract simply doesn't have qualms. Like he has no problem saying exactly what he feels. It's just he knows that in the media sense, it's best if he doesn't. I hope one day he gets to that point.
that's the Real Madrid media school. Like that's the media school, media training he came from. Like you don't say anything publicly. You say it, in the locker room. You maybe, I'm sure like he said stuff in the background on the Mavs too.
Yep.
But like publicly, you keep all of that, private. So
Yep.
I don't think he'll ever operate the way LeBron does, the way his agent does. It's absolutely crazy. Did you see the last clips from the last Kellerman and
I
Rich
can't believe
Paul?
it. I can't believe it. Because
I mean,
it's
madness.
It's kind of in like I rarely would be like, oh, this is inappropriate. Like Rich must know that his time as an agent in the league is coming to a close because, like,
I was thinking that too. Yeah, like he wants a media career.
Or I think him and LeBron are going to like try to buy a team. That's what I think. I think they retire and try to buy like a piece of a team because it's that whole deal is just he's sitting there talking about like even today as he tried to walk back the Austin Reeves comments, he might as well have ended it with, well, yeah, me and the agent are cool, but I still want them to trade Austin Reeves. Like he's just
and Luka, and he said he's actually fine with trading either one, Luka or AR. That was actually the latest quote. He's
just insane.
Kellerman suggested trading Luka for getting assets and building around LeBron and AR.
I love it.
And he said, like, I'm fine with trading either one of them. And it's absolute. It's as big of a shit show as the Mavs are, like front office wise and, like the ownership wise as well. Although I'm hoping at least the Lakers will let Walter run the team since everybody's saying how good of a job he did with the Dodgers. So we'll see where it goes. But I'm actually in a position where I'm actually looking for a team I can root for in the NBA because I don't have a team I can actually emotionally invest in. I mean, it's not the Lakers. I hate the Lakers. I watch the Lakers because of Luka. I can't like the Mavs, like with DeMond, the same front office, like the same faces. Like when they start a true rebuild around Cooper and like really tear it down, get assets and start a proper rebuild, which might not happen with DeMond. Like he's one of the main obstacles to the actual, starting of a rebuild, it seems. And it's still raw for me, so I can't invest emotionally in Mavs as well. So I'm watching like Pistons like this season a lot. I'm watching Hornets too. Like I really like Con. I mean, I know there's a war, like there's a rookie debate with Flagg and with Cooper and Con, but it's a great rookie class. It's a great rookie class.
is 21st century Peja Stojakovic. I mean, that dude is out.
Interesting comment.
Well, because I mean, Peja at one point there was a season, it might have been 03-04. This is going way back, where Peja was like 4th or 5th on the MVP ballot because like half the Kings had gotten hurt, and people remember Peja as a sharpshooter, but he was a complete player. A complete player. And I think Con Knippel's the same kind of guy where, is he going to be a super duper star? I don't think so. But I think he is so talented and so solid. Like it's just kind of remarkable. And I saw him in person, man. And,
he's
you
big,
watch.
Isn't he? He's a big guy.
But so how Luka has those calves that just go straight. The tree trunk of calves, like no ankle. It's crazy. It just makes me laugh that he's that athletic, given his just kind of tree.
He's got those big legs too, and that's a good sign usually for NBA athletes, just durability wise and stuff like that. It's a great rookie class. I actually like this season. I enjoyed watching like this rookies playing. Not just Con and Coop, like VJ. He's looking really good, like Coward, Derek Queen.
Yep, Queen is real fun.
Yeah, really, like sort of. People made this comp already with Jokic, and there is some similarity to their games. Like you can see some similarities, and for a big guy, he's a really good passer. So it's a fun rookie class. Like it's gonna be fun watching them. But yeah, like
how much of Flagg have you gotten to watch?
I mean, I'm actually still like watching the Mavs. Like I do try to watch a lot of games, at least try to, see that shortened version on League Pass because they got
those are good.
Those are good. Yeah, you get a really good feel for the game, and it's short and sweet. So, like, I've been watching him a lot, and I've been pleasantly surprised by.
I don't have a player comp for him. I don't know who to compare him to whatsoever, and that makes him really fun to watch most nights because he seems capable of just about anything on the court.
I mean, Tatum.
Tatum was so obsessed and became so obsessed with difficult shot making. If Tatum attacked the rim the way Flagg does, and like Tatum finally did against the Mavericks, but it's like it took getting to the finals twice for that to actually happen. Tatum is just so Cooper is just so ruthless. Like he doesn't ever really pull up. Like he went coast to coast on a layup tonight, where it's just I think teams are still surprised that he's just willing to do stuff like that. And I'm very curious as to what 25-year-old Cooper Flagg looks like, because when they drafted him, I didn't really have high expectations for his offense. And yet that's primarily what we talk about.
You didn't? What did you expect from him on offense this season?
Not a ton. I was hoping for kind of, I remember thinking back when Luka was a rookie, I was going to be really happy with like a 12, 5, and 4 average. And then Luka went for 28 and 6. And so for Cooper, I sort of had similar, let's get, maybe 12 points, maybe 6 or 7 boards and a couple of assists. And instead he's averaging 19 points. The rebounds are a little lower than I want from him, but his playmaking is just so fundamental. Like he makes the right read. He's not like a next generation passer or anything, but the defense was all I had really hoped for. And the Mavericks have been such a mess defensively. We've not really had a chance to talk about that.
Yeah. And I think actually, and you'll probably disagree, but like, I've been more like, not surprised, but like, I've been more enthusiastic about his offense than defense. Like I thought, like at least when it comes to his defense as a help defender, he's been tremendous in transition as well. But he's just too big to actually guard guards, like to actually chase guards around.
Yeah,
screens.
They haven't used him that way yet at all.
When he hasn't been good. Like I remember watching against the Warriors, and Pajemski kept going to the same play when Coop was on him and he got stuck on every screen, and Pajemski was getting wide open.
Warriors are such a bear. They're just so good at exploiting stuff. But I know what you mean, and that's something that he's such a smart player.
Do you think he'll be a 1-5 defender, or will he be a Giannis type of a help defender, elite help defender?
That's a great question, because I think it depends on how much, if he grows any taller, and if he's in what kind of muscle he's able to put on.
He'll be just too big, like to actually guard guards. Like I don't think like it would be smart or prudent to put him a lot on ones and twos, like 3, 4, and 5. Like a small ball big, like that's where I see him playing defensively more often than as a point of attack defender. Like that's not something I don't think he'll ever be. So I mean, but like it's good for Mavs fans to at least have Cooper. I mean,
otherwise I probably would have quit by now. Like this team would be unwatchable.
I mean, just imagine, like it would have been like an absolute disaster. So at least that's something to build around for the future. And I hope they are going to start as soon as possible with all the debates. Like I think it's settled, like with AD, like there's no championship with AD and Kyrie and Coop coming. Like just start the rebuild, and as soon as possible, the sooner the better. I mean, there's no debate about that.
That's right.
Yeah, good talking to you, Kirk, and I hope we'll talk soon again. Like when the actual anniversary comes, you have to do like an anniversary thought.
I don't know. I might just ignore it for like 5 solid years. So we'll see. We'll see.
Like if you won't do it, I'll do one, and I'll try to get you on.
That's right. All right, man. Talk soon. Really appreciate you joining. All right.
I do. Yeah. Bye.
All right, Kill Cam up next. What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
I'm tired, but I'm delighted to have people joining after that ugly of a game. So what's going on?
Man, honestly, man, hopefully we just trade PJ and AD, man. Like, I'm just so sick of Demont. Like, dude, you're never gonna see this get just trade it. Because I feel like I know Finley and McCurry want to trade him, but it's Dumont holding it up. Like,
I have no clue, but given the decision making since he's been in the owner, it is a fair place to come down to think that he's the problem.
So I'm just like, man, I'm just like, please just stop. You know what I'm saying? Just stop, man. Like, if you're never gonna see it, who cares? You're gonna get like people are gonna say some stuff, but who cares? Like, because it's the thing is like I see little things here and there, but it's crazy. We're just not talented enough for being a secondary team, man. It's crazy.
Yes.
Yes,
That's
most of these
what
are
I saw tonight too. Is just not enough talent.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's crazy how little talented we are. Especially without Coop, man. It's crazy. Like, we had a little run, but it's like these dudes are just not.
It's tough because, like, I feel like we have talent because we very much keep talking about guys we want to trade away who are good. It's just the pieces don't work to form like a coherent basketball team that can play well for enough to get a win, like more than one win or two wins in a row.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, man, we can just trade. Hopefully, we can just trade some things. Just like trade Gav, trade AD. And I think we should be good from there. And then in the summer, trade PJ because I want to keep Najee, and I do want to keep Clay if he wants to be here. I want to keep Clay and Kyrie if they want to be here. But if they don't, I'll abide by their wishes. But just trade AD and Gaff, sign Musa Cisse, and then try to trade PJ in the offseason, and then go from there. Because we have no incentive to be bad next year. So like. Just trade those three dudes because they don't really fit the team, and then if the vets who want to stay, like if Clay and Kyrie want to stay, let them stay. But if they want to leave, abide by the wishes. And also, the crazy thing is, Caleb Martin had a decent game.
Yeah, best game as a Maverick.
I think he started to get healthy. That's how he started to get healthy. Starting to get into like a rhythm. So it's like, but again, like, if you can find someone, trade him as well, But at least he's showing something, It's like so like if you can't trade him, he's not going to
play him, so he can soak up some minutes.
Yeah, so if you can't trade him this year or next year, at least let him be a decent to good body out there,
Yeah.
But like but then just I'm kind of rambling, but just.
No, it's fine.
It's at the point to where it's like, man, Coop got hurt again. Like, just sit him, play Ryan Miles and then Musa. Play those guys. Because I think those guys can be good bench players. I think all of them could be good bench players to play them, try to develop them as well. And then just trade AD Gaff during the season. Don't wait because don't be stubborn. I really hope we won't be stubborn. Don't be stubborn, and then it's really just Dumont, man. I really just please get Dumont out of basketball decisions, man. Like,
well, if you're looking for something to kind of pique your Dallas Mavericks interest, it's a total wish fulfillment article. But I just posted in the chat this trade idea from Sam Quinn at CBS Sports that is a great. It's not a real trade. It's just something he conjured up, and it's probably my favorite dumb shit fake trade of the offseason. He wrote like 12 or 1,500 words on this. And it's if you're like, oh, well, here's I need to see something, that will give me some hope. That it's totally not real, but it's outstanding to read. I had a great time reading it, and it's a fun share about Anthony Davis becoming a Hornet that I thought was fun, at least. So
yeah.
Well, hey, man, you got anything else?
Nothing really, man. Just yeah. You know what I'm saying to them.
Yeah. Well, we play Utah tomorrow and then Utah on Saturday. So if they lose both or if they lose basically either of these games.
Well, I mean, Coop's probably not going to play tomorrow. So
I'm not sure. 19-year-olds' ankles are made out of rubber. And I bet he could have played tonight and they were kind of like, let's just keep him out. And they probably had to talk him out of it because he went back in the game. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
All right, man. We'll talk soon, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Also,
all right.
A good place to know for car stuff because my check engine light came on. Do you know anything? No. Yeah, do you know like a good car place?
No. I have been in 2 accidents in the last year, and all I know is that these places take my money. All right, man. Talk soon.
Yes, sir. Talk soon.
All right. Last but not least, we have Paul. What's up, Paul?
Can you hear me?
I can. You sound great.
All right. Thanks, Kirk. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Hey. That's what we
it's
like
12:14 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. real sicko shit here. I'll be honest. I only watched maybe like 5 minutes of this game. Yes.
I saw Cooper twist his ankle, and then he turned it off. I heard that Gafford got hurt later.
Like, as they're talking about Cooper being hurt, Gafford gets hurt.
Yeah. But honestly, the main reason I even did this is because, man, I can't. The Rich Paul stuff, man. I can't believe that this is happening like this. I
never seen anything like it. It should be the biggest. If the NFL weren't in the playoffs, I think this would be the biggest sports story.
And it's so, and I really wish we weren't part of it. The fact that Anthony Davis is such a big a cog in this whole thing, and that there was a report today that he it was like, the Mavericks aren't going to trade him now against Rich Paul's will, and it's just, man, why do we got to do this, right? I don't know.
No, the night there is no nice part about this story, but like the fact that this is one of the few times that Rich Paul has exactly zero leverage, and I think he knows it, and so it's just kind of kicking and throwing a fit, and we got to get him out of there, blah blah blah. I've heard through asking around that the Mavericks do want to get him out, but there's just nothing he's so expensive. You can't make anything work. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be, maybe a month ago, I was of the opinion of just, not trading him unless you at least get something decent in return. But I mean, we've hit that point where I'm just tired.
I just don't know what, but I also don't know what decent is, because you run into so many problems and this is not just a Mavericks problem. This is like an NBA problem. So many teams have their picks future mortgaged. There's no way for Dallas to get anything that they might want. And it's then the salaries are so expensive. You have to be within a certain range. Plus the Mavericks couldn't take back more money. There's so many things that make a trade very difficult. It's very frustrating. That's why, I think that's part of the element, and that happens in season. It is easier to make trades in the summer, but I just don't see why a team. If I'm a team that would take AD, I would simply just do what the Rockets did with Kevin Durant, where they essentially stared at the Suns long enough until the Suns gave them KD for what they were offering, because there just wasn't anything else. It's despite KD being a first ballot Hall of Famer, he's going to pass Dirk in the next several weeks in the scoring race, or in the number on the all time scoring. It's just there's nobody want to pay for him. It's crazy. That's just the way. We're unfortunately, meaning Mavericks fans, are in the shit end of Nico Harrison doing everyone in the NBA a favor and totally resetting the trade value market. That's what we're dealing with now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure something will work out. I don't know if it's going to be at the trade deadline or the summer. He'll be gone, right? There's no. I mean, maybe there's a way he stays long term, but I don't know. there's just been so much reporting, and honestly, I go back to the anti Mark Cuban original quote of where we're not going to trade it, which means they're absolutely trying to trade him,
right. It's
right.
That's
and that's the biggest indicator of anything with the Dallas Mavericks.
They said if you happen to read Mark Stein, he's a fun subscription to have, and he talked about how the Mavericks know their best thing is to tank and get positioned for picks, and then all of a sudden you see, well, they're not very interested in trading Najee Marshall. It's like you can't somebody's lying about something. They either don't want to tank and they're just saying that they do want to tank, or they don't want they're saying it's all lies. I mean, Donnie Nelson had the my favorite kind of trade speculation quote where he's like, if my lips are moving, then I'm lying. And that's just sort of how I feel about what's going on at the Mavericks right now, is that they're flooding the zone with nonsense, and it's hard to know if anything is true.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much posturing just by everybody.
Yep.
And I did think that something was about to happen, and I even think the fact that Dumont was here today means that that's an indicator that something's probably just about to happen.
Yep.
But, I don't know. I really don't. Everything just, yeah.
All right, man. You got anything else for us?
I don't.
I appreciate you clicking in. I hope you come back when you got, when you've watching the game can sometimes make these shows better, but actually it's not required whatsoever. So I hope you come back whenever you have a Mavs take. All right.
All righty.
All right. Talk soon. Okay, guys, more fun than it should have been. That's the nature of this show. Thanks so much for hanging out. It has been Kirk Henderson here with Pod Mavericks Group Therapy. See you guys tomorrow night against after the Mavericks play the Jazz. Everybody be good. Go Mavs.